फोन यूज करिए.
Okay, just a minute.
Yeah, hi Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. And what's the time here?
It's 8:30 in our time.
Okay, 8:30 p.m.
निकल जाए. बुरा
So
बंद
have
कर.
you eaten your dinner or not?
I'm sorry?
Have
कहाँ
you
पे
taken
है?
your dinner?
I'm having a difficult time hearing. There's a lot of other noises.
Okay, okay, fine. Please, Ajay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Stephen, shall we start the session?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Yeah,
Are we all
everybody
ready?
is here.
Great. So today I want to talk about just ways of learning English. And I think that many of you have been studying for a while. What's the longest someone has been studying English? Sushil, how long have you been studying English?
Can you all mute your mic, please? Because sounds are coming, noises are coming.
Just hold your place. Can we
Madan,
mu- can we mute
Madan,
everyone? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I hope everyone can hear me now.
yeah,
Yes,
now
yes, we can.
audible.
Wonderful. So, I would like to talk about just in terms of learning another language and the importance of thinking in that language and using that language on a regular, everyday basis. So, I it, there's a maxim in English, and it goes like this: if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And that's true with many things, especially learning a language. So I know that one of the difficulties of learning English is that you don't always have someone to practice with. There's not someone that's available where you can make a conversation in English with those people. So one of the things that I do, because I have a similar situation, I speak another language, but there's no one in my household that speaks that language. So what do I do in order to stay current with my language learning? So one of the things that I do to stay current with my language learning, I do several things. Number one, I listen to broadcasts, TV shows, radio that's speaking the language that I'm trying to learn. I regularly listen. Every day, I'm listening to that other language. I know I'm not speaking it, but I'm listening to it. That's the first thing I do. The second thing I do is that I try to read in that language every day. So I read and write every day, not in English, but in my second language. So for you, you'll need to, number one, watch or listen to English language programming every day. Well, you say, well, Steve, I don't understand it. That's okay. Can you catch one word in a sentence? Can you catch two words in a sentence? Great. Write those words down or just listen. Say, ah, I caught that word. Oh, I know what that word is. That's language learning right there. That's immersive. The idea is to be immersed in the language, submerged. So it's completely covering you. And so one of the ways is I listen. The second thing you need for English learning is that you need to read in English on a regular basis. So as you read English, writing sentences. Sometimes I just write a simple sentence like, my name is. So please make sure you always regularly write. It's some funny echo there. The third thing that I do is that I talk to myself. Now, that may sound crazy to talk to yourself, but I'm just like when I am like, for example, I'm up in my kitchen and I'm cooking. I'll bring down a bowl, and when I bring the bowl down, instead of saying the word bowl in English, I say the word bowl in my second language. When I bring the fork, I say the fork in my second language. So I practice my vocabulary with my everyday life events. I'm driving the car, I see the light, the stoplight. I say the stoplight in my other language. So when you're driving your car, or when you're cooking your lunch or your breakfast, or you're at the store, I want you to say, maybe not out loud because people might think you're crazy, but maybe under your breath or in your head, begin to say the English words of everything you see. I remember it was Jess, was it last week that we were in the store together, and you guys knew those, a lot of you knew that all the things that I was showing you, the fruits, you knew the melons and the apples and the cucumbers, but I need you to do that every day on your own. So you need to dive in to language learning. That's the best way to increase your language proficiency. Are there any questions about what I just said?
No.
Madan, how long have you been learning English?
I just started. If I talk about in this institute, I have just attended only one session. But yes, actually, I have been working in one organization that is related to US based. So I've been working in that organization for last 10 years. Health
So you've been
insurance.
speaking English for 10 years.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Aishwarya. I'm sorry.
Aishwarya.
Aishwarya, how long have you been learning English?
Aishwarya, you are not audible.
You're on mute. Let me unmute you. I'm sorry. There we go. Can you unmute yourself there? There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, since childhood, we started studying English in school days, but I didn't speak well because I think we don't think in English because every subjects we studied in English, but I didn't speak in front of others. I think that's the major problem.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. What about Sushel?
Yeah, actually, I've been speaking this English course, especially this institute I've joined. I joined just 1 year before. I think more than 1 year. It took more than 1 year. But in my school days and my in college, we people have to. In, the courses are in Nepali medium. That was not in English, and only few subjects that we people have to speak to write and speak in English.
Okay. Excellent. And then I see someone I don't know says guest, and I'm not sure who that is.
Khushi?
Khushi?
Sushil.
No, Khushi is also there.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Manu ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible,
Yeah.
Khushi.
Okay, sir, I have been studying English since 5, 6 years. Actually, I'm just in eighth, so
Hmm.
I'm
Okay,
just in eighth standard.
you're just a what? I'm sorry.
I'm just in eighth standard. Okay.
Okay. Um, and so one of the things I think Aswara said that the most difficult thing is the ability, this is the speaking, is the speaking. So one of the tricks that you can do is that you can also speak, you could speak into your phone, like a video of yourself speaking, maybe even reading something, and then play it back and see how clearly you sound. I always think I sound so clear until I hear myself. And I'm like, oh no, my accent was heavy. I dropped some words. So speak into like a video diary, right? You just take up your phone and just start speaking English, then pause it, review it, and listen. How clear am I? If does it sound like what I'm hearing on the television? Does it sound like what I'm hearing on the radio? And if not, what can I do to improve? Right? So, one of the ways that you know how to improve is just by slowing your sentences down. Now, you don't have to talk louder, but you have to talk slower. And the reason you have to talk slower is because the diction is so critical in English. So, I know that when you hear English, you think, oh my gosh, oh my word, they speak so fast. And if I am going to be proficient, I need to speak fast as well. That's not true. In fact, a lot of Americans don't speak quickly at all. But when you're learning another language, you want to speak as clearly as possible, not as fast as possible. For example, when I hear you speak Hindi or Tamil or whatever language you speak, I think, oh my goodness, they speak so fast. And if I were to learn your language, I would need to speak it very slowly. And what's more important is that I say the word correctly and clearly, not fast. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great. So, what I want you to do right now is I want you to speak English to me so that I can hear you. And I'm going to be critiquing you a little bit, if that's okay. And I'm going to listen to see how clear you are and at your pace. I don't want you to go fast, all right? And I want you to do a couple things. Number one, I want you to tell me, you're going to say what your name is. My name is, then fill in the blank. Then the second sentence is this: I come from, and then give me what village or city that you come from. 3, tell me about your family. I have a husband, I have 3 children, and then how what the ages of your children are. And then number 4, what you do for a living. I am a computer programmer. I work in the office, etc., etc. Does that make any sense? So you have 4 things: your name, your location, what village or city you've come from, your family, tell us about your family, and the last thing is tell me about your work. Okay, so we're going to start with Sushil, and
Okay.
I will call on you. I will listen, and then when you're done, I will say, I wish you could have gone slower. This word was difficult to understand. So will you be offended if I make that critique?
Ma'am.
Okay, so Sushil, would you go ahead and go?
Okay. My name is Sushil Rajbandari. I live in Kathmandu. My native place is Kathmandu, Nepal. That is, Kathmandu is the capital of Nepal, and I am doing electronic business, and I have wife, my son, and my son is 17 years.
Excellent.
Is that okay?
Sushel, you did really great. Let me tell you what you did so well. Um, you spoke very confidently, and you did not speak quickly. You spoke so you spoke at a really nice pace, and I could understand almost. I understood every word. Did you say everything perfect? No, but you were so clear that you didn't have to say it perfectly because I understood you, and that was fantastic. All right, so let's go to the next person. Goshi, can I go with you next, please?
Khushi?
Okay. So my name is Khushi Suksana. I come from Aligarh. My parents are teacher. I'm just an eighth standard. I'm still studying, and I'm an enthusiastic and determined girl. And in next 2 years, I'm going to face boards in 10th and 12th standards.
Wonderful. Okay, I understood most of what you said. There's some words that I didn't understand, but I think that's because you're using a different vocabulary than American vocabulary, if that makes any sense. So it sounded to me, Kushi, that you were going to take some standardized testing. Is that correct?
Yes, these are the board exams in 10th standard and 12th standard.
Great. And so, and I didn't understand that because those aren't common words for me.
Yeah.
Okay. But clearly, your English is wonderful. And what I liked about when you spoke with such, there was just a very natural English. It sounds like you almost grew up speaking English. Is that true? Gushi, did you grow up speaking English?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can.
Yeah. Did you grow up speaking English?
Uh, yes, sir.
Yes, yes. You can tell. I can tell that you speak so naturally that it sounds like you've spoke English in your whole life.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, very nice. Okay, let's go with Madan.
Hello, Madan, unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay. My name is Madan Lal. I I come from Jammu city. I have two kids. One is of 8 years and younger one is 2 years. I am science graduate and I've been working in health insurance industry for last 10 years.
Excellent. Wonderful job there. Your sentences were very clear and cogent, and you gave it. I noticed you kept your sentences very simple. You didn't try to make it complicated. You communicated your ideas so that I was able to understand it. Your pace of English was fantastic. Great job. Excellent work.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Aishwarya.
My name is Aishwarya. Basically, I am from Kerala, but now I am in Pune since 8 months. I have I have a husband. I have a husband and a son. He is 8 year old. I'm a BMS graduate.
Excellent. Really nice. And I noticed, Aishwarya, that you're the first one to say that your child was years old, and that's that's like an American would say it. So I noticed that sometimes we would say 2 years or 17 years or 10 years, but we didn't say 10 years old. And when you're from the United States, we always say the old afterwards. So that was a really nice catch there. You said my son's 8 years old. So that was excellent. So very clear. I could tell that you had thought about it and that you said it. What I noticed from all of you students, and this is what I just find exceptional, is that when you were given this assignment and it was impromptu, you didn't know what I was going to ask you, that you were able
Sorry,
to.
Stephen, sorry to interrupt you.
No, no,
Shreya
please
is
go.
remaining. Yeah, Shreya.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hi Shreya. First introduce yourself.
I'm so
Okay,
sorry,
ma'am.
Shriya.
Hello. No problem, sir. Hello, sir. Very good morning. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Shriya Singh. I'm from Mustafabad, which is situated in Prayagraj district. I'm a student and I'm in ninth standard. I like to play and talk with persons. And my strength is I'm confident and quick learner. And my weakness is I'm very talkative girl. That's it about myself.
How old are you, Shriya?
Hello.
How Miss Singh? How old are you?
So 14.
You're 14. Okay. So you got a head start on some of these folks with your English. I would like to say that you probably are a very talkative girl. Your English is very fluid. I would probably tell you to slow down a little bit. Um, that would be my only advice. But when I hear you speaking, your English comes out very fluid and easy. So you're easy to listen to, but sometimes there was a little bit of there was no space between some of the words, so I had to really listen hard to catch some of it. So I would recommend slowing down a little bit and letting it just stay not so quick. Does that make sense?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sorry. Actually, some noises were coming. That's why I was not able to hear you.
Oh, that's okay. I was just saying that your English is very fluid, that you speak very easily when you speak English, but you could slow down a little bit when you're speaking to an American,
Okay, sir. Thanks. Thanks.
especially an old American like me.
Okay, sir. Thanks. Thanks for telling me.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, um, what I really appreciate about everyone was their ability to think. You could tell you thought through it, and then you're able to speak it clearly. When you're in conversation, you don't always have the opportunity to think past your sentence. Does that make sense? So, so then you kind of feel a rush, or you try to say it very quickly. So I want you to always, when you're speaking English, slow it down, take the time to pause. That's okay, and then make your sentence. And one more thing I'd like to say is that when you're speaking English, I need you to think English, not think your native language first. So if you speak Urdu, don't think in Urdu and translate it into English. Don't think in Nepalese and then translate it into English. You have to think English first to speak English. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Is that difficult to do for everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Sir, actually, my vocabulary is not very good. So, what I should do for improving my vocab?
Great. That's a great question. So improving vocabulary is everyone's biggest question. And I would always like to say this. Um, I believe I read recently that English was the most what did they say? Had the most words of any language in the world. I don't know
Yes.
if that's true, but I read that and I kind of believe it. We have words for nothing, just so many words. So don't be concerned about knowing all the English words. You'll never need them. I speak Cambodian, but if I was to go to Cambodia and I went into an automobile shop, I would be lost because I can't speak automobile Cambodian. I can go to the hospital and be fine. I could go to the grocery store and be fine. I could go to the temple and be fine. But I couldn't go to the mechanic because I don't know those vocabulary words. That's okay. It's okay not to know everything because you're not going to use everything. That's the first thing. Be okay with just knowing what you need to know in your field, in your expertise. Number one. Number two, carry around a little book. Now, I used to work with a man, he was older, he's an older man, and we'd go shopping together. And I had a little book and I kept it in my pocket. And anytime he was looking for something in Cambodian, he'd say, "Oh, I need to find this." And I wouldn't know what it was. I'm like, I'd say, "I don't know. What is that? What is that?" And and then we would find it, he would show it to me, and then I would write it down in English, how the English word, then I'd write it in Cambodian, then I would sometimes write it how I would say it in English. Does that make sense? So that's the way I would learn new vocabulary, was just by having a little notebook. And when I caught a new word from reading, conversation, from listening, I wrote it in my notebook and would review my vocabulary on a regular basis. Does that seem like helpful tips?
Yes, really, it is helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be critical, is just to always be engaged in language learning. So how many minutes or hours do you spend every day in English?
Uh, Sir, you can say 2 hours.
I'm sorry?
2 hours, sir. 2 hours.
2 hours? You spend 2 hours? Okay. That's wonderful. That's a lot of time. That's great. What are you all doing 2 hours of English learning a day?
Yeah. Yeah. We
At
do.
least two
I,
hours.
yeah, I
Okay, great. And then once you're done with those 2 hours, do you just say up and forget about it the rest of the day? Ah, the answer is yes. Don't do that. That's why I said learning a language is every day. It's every day. It's in the kitchen, it's sitting down at the table. Even when I'm saying those words to you in English, I'm saying them in my head in another language. That's how often when I'm learning another language, and I'm always learning this language because it's a very difficult language for me, I have to say it in English and I'm thinking in that language in my head all the time. So I know what it's like to learn another language, and I know that the tricks that I have used and learned will work for you as well. Are there any other questions? That was a great question.
Okay, sir. Sir, one question more.
Yes.
Sure, as you said that we are the native speaker of Hindi. Like I'm the native speaker of Hindi. So whatever I think means whatever comes in my mind, it's in Hindi. So what I should do that whatever is come in my mind, it will be in English.
So how do you get to that point? You just have to decide. Now that may sound silly to you, but that's the only way I've done it. Is I decided to think in that language. It doesn't come easily, but you have to begin to think in that language. that is the only way to truly master the language, is to begin to think in it. So I don't want to give an example because it would be fruitless for you. But if I was going to speak in Cambodian right now, I would begin to think in Cambodian. I would not translate from English to Cambodian. I would just speak Cambodian because I would decide in my head to only think Cambodian words. It's really just making a decision to, because why do I rely on English first or Hindi first or my native language first? Because I'm stuck on the vocabulary or I'm feeling insecure. So I release my insecurities and I just start speaking the words that in thinking in Cambodian and speaking in Cambodian. And guess what? They're going to laugh at me and they're going to make fun of me and they're going to say I said this word wrong. Okay. Okay, that's okay because I'm learning. I'm so happy that they understood me or they didn't understand me. And I have said the most horrible things to people in other languages. Not on purpose, but I'm just trying to speak what I hear in my head as much as I can. So the way to do it is making a decision to think in that language. Don't translate it, just say it in the language you're speaking.
Actually, uh, actually, we all think like our native language first, like we speak Hindi properly, right? This is our native language, and we talk in Hindi to everyone. Like we just speak in English in 1 hour or 2 hour in a day, and then we talk to everyone in Hindi. So that's the reason whenever we speak in English to someone, so first we think in our mind in Hindi, then we translate that thinking into English. So that's the problem which we face.
Yes, yes. So you have to make a decision, Madan, to not think in Hindi. It's just purely it's making a decision.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it better. Um, let's see if I can think of a better way to explain it. I just don't know how to explain. So sorry. It's just making a decision. That's all I can say about it. Let me give
And
it. I'm gonna
you
go
can
ahead.
make it as a practice also, right, Madan?
Mhm.
Okay.
Make it as a practice to
Mhm.
to think in English only. First, it
Yes.
will be like difficult for you, but I think later then you will be habitual.
Right.
Well, that's really good. That's great advice. Just make it a habit and small baby steps, right? Just do it a little bit of it a day until I remember the first time I had been learning Cambodian for almost 5 years and I had a dream and the entire dream was in Cambodian. I was no longer dreaming in English. I was dreaming in Cambodian. And that's a goal, right? Make the goal of yours to start dreaming in English.
Okay.
Okay, Aishwarya, Khushi,
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
have any question?
No, ma'am.
Aishwarya, unmute yourself. Yeah, now
Sir,
you can.
how to improve our writing skills?
How to improve your writing skills. The
Yeah.
best way to improve your writing skills is reading English. Now, you thought I was going to say write. The best way to improve it is by reading and reading and reading, because the more you read, the more you know how it's written. And then the other thing is to write every day. I hate writing. My son also hates writing, and he cries every day because I make him write every day. All right. So the best way to improve your writing is to read a lot and to write every day.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Sushil.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I think all suggestion. The Stephen has given all the suggestions. Have all given all the suggestions that we people have need to practice one day.
Right. Okay, yeah, Khushi. Ask something.
No, ma'am. I don't have a question.
Ma'am, may I ask?
Yeah, yes, Shriya. Most
May I
welcome.
ask, ma'am?
Yeah, most welcome, Shriya.
Okay. Sir, could you tell me that if we don't have any person to talk in English, but we want to talk with any person whom with we can share our, means you can say ideas, our thought in English, and we want to improve our English. So what we should do to improve our communication with people?
hmm I think that you're doing the one thing is you're taking this class, right? You're in schools, you're talking to people with English. That's a great step. And the other thing, and I said, I don't know if you heard me, but I know that there's like in my house, there's no one that speaks Cambodian. I don't care. I just keep speaking Cambodian. And my children say, Dad, we don't understand you. And I say, I don't care. I have to speak it. So I just keep speaking it.
Sir, may I say something?
Please.
Sir, like there is no one at your home whom with you can talk, like you are talking with not you are talking with no one. So how can you think that yeah I'm speaking right or wrong? How can we decide?
Right. I know that sometimes I'm wrong. I go, I'll learn it later. So I can call someone. I can go to class and ask, I think about this word. Is this the right word? I can pick up the phone and speak to a friend that speaks Cambodian and say, hey, what about this word? I look it up and listen to the word because on the computer, right, or an app, a phone app, I can look up a word. I have a dictionary. I'll show you right now.
My
I have
God.
this dictionary, right? And so I can look up the word and just say, okay, did I have the right word? And I look it up and then say, okay, I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'll say it over and over again. So that's how I've done it, whether people are listening to me or not. I just keeps talking.
Wow, sir, thanks for telling me.
Not easy. Don't give up. Don't give up, but it's not easy.
Yes, sir, I know.
Yeah, yes, Khushi.
No, ma'am, I don't have any question.
Okay, no problem.
Uh, Sir, can I say something?
Yes, yes.
Sir, like means what I was going to ask. I just forgot.
I have
Just a minute.
can I ask one question, Steven?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, please.
So the language which you are using, I think you are just using a simple language, so we can easily understand you, right? Whatever you are saying, we can easily understand you. But whenever we get chance to watch any Bollywood movie, so that is really difficult to like understand the words which they speak. So we can just read. So if English language is written there, then we can easily understand. But if that is not there, so sometimes it is difficult to understand the words which they use.
Yeah, it's the same with me. So there's when I watch Cambodian news, I don't understand. Maybe 50% of it is above me. Just words and vocabulary I don't know. But I listen every day because it helps me to train my head in thinking in Cambodian, right? So when you watch a Hollywood movie, you're like, I don't understand any of that. I don't, that's okay. Hopefully there's subtitles. Maybe you can have Hindi subtitles. Um, but that's the way you just listen, you listen, you listen, and get your mind associating the words, even if you don't understand them.
Good.
That's a
Okay,
great question.
thank you for your advice. Oh,
Sir, I was asking that hello.
Yes.
Sure, I was asking that with communication with persons is a good way to improve our communication.
Yes, the best way to improve your communication is by never is by always speaking.
Okay,
Just
sir.
just talking and talking and not be embarrassed about saying the wrong word or saying the wrong thing. Just talk. Say something wrong, they'll correct you or they'll laugh or they'll ask you to say it again. That's wonderful. That's how you learn.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
There's no magic pills, right? There's no magic tricks. It's just hard work to learn a language. That's all it is. Hard work.
Yeah. Aishwarya, anything else?
No, ma'am. No, sir. I don't have a question.
Well, thank you very much for letting me be with you today. And listening to you speak, I can see that you're really learning a lot and you're getting a lot out of the school. And you're improving and you're asking great questions. So I look forward to seeing your improvement. And next time we talk, hearing that you're learning to think in English and how often you're practicing. It's going to be great. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank
same
Thank
to
you,
you,
sir.
Same
sir.
to you,
See
sir.
you too, sir.
Thank you. God bless. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
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 Bye,
Sir.
Bye
sir.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.